Sparkling is a funny one for us. This is something we've done from the beginning. Again, something we believe is absolutely right for our climate. We grow great Pinot Noir, we grow great Chardonnay, and those are two vitally important grape varieties for really world-class sparkling wines. And yet, it's a very long, slow process. The traditional method of sparkling wine production requires us to vinify, our base wines, make the blend, bottle the blended wine in the final bottle that the customer will purchase, add the new yeast and the yeast nutrients, etc., to the bottle, cap it, let the fermentation take place inside the bottle where all the carbon dioxide is now trapped to give it the sparkle, and then let it rest after that fermentation for a period of years for the yeast to break down and develop new flavors and textures and aromas in the wine. That's not something you can rush. So the slowest, or the fastest, I should say, that we can produce a sparkling wine, not including the growing season, is probably 28-30 months from the day we pick the grapes. And so the bottom line with that means our sparkling wines are great because we do it the old-fashioned way and we take our time with the production of the sparkling wines. And even as our sparkling wine sort of the sales have grown across the range of sparkling wines, we're not speeding up the process and sacrificing quality in order to get more wine into the market. So when you come to 13th Street, there will be a sparkling wine on the shelf, or if you go online and you're looking to buy a sparkling wine for 13th Street, you've got one of the best in the industry, but I can't tell you which one we're going to have available for you because they're released as time goes on. So we basically have three levels. We have the Cuvée 13 line, which is the one that I sort of suspect is going to be available most of the year. It's a rosé, it's a dry rosé. It's the wine that we hope to have fairly widespread in the LCBO starting in 2013. It's the most affordable of the sparkling wines, very, very affordable even amongst our local industry and certainly on an international level. For the kind of care and time and energy we put into the production, it's a very, very reasonable price. So that's one that I highly recommend is kind of the house sparkle that you might sort of search out regularly. And then when you move to the next level, you're at our Premier Cuvée level, which is the level where you might start comparing it to champagne or to the best sparkling wines, from the great sparkling wine producing regions of the world, champagne sort of being the most obvious of them all, because then you've got a real champagne style. You've got a lot of that kind of yeasty, toasty, brioche character in the nose. You've got really, really super fine bubble. You've got a wine that's very complex that lasts forever. A mousse that's very, very fine and a bubble that lasts forever. Really a refined, complex expression of sparkling wine. That one, we are about to release the new vintage of the Premier Cuvée, the 2008. And then there'll be a bit of a gap again for a while before we see the next vintage. And that's just because it's a very limited, more exclusive product. And then you have the Grand Cuvée, which is the top tier we produce, our Prestige Cuvée. And that is 100% Pinot Noir, Blanc de Noir, whereas the previous two, the aforementioned Cuvée 13 and Premier Cuvée, are a Pinot Noir Chardonnay blend, typically Pinot Noir dominant, but there's a blend. With the Grand Cuvée, it's 100% Pinot Noir, very, very long aging period. So the current vintage is 2006, just released before Christmas, and we've got a little bit left. We produced a total of 1,500 bottles, so very rare, but it's aged for 5 years on the lees, post-fermentation. So this is a product that takes us, between 6 and 7 years to produce from the day that it's picked, and that's transmitted into the wine in terms of the complexity and the unique expression of that wine. The Grand Cuvée is going to be different every year because it really is us or our winemaker trying to capture the essence of that particular vintage and really sort of just saying, I think I've got something exceptional here, and we're going to make an exceptional rare wine that won't necessarily be anything like the previous vintage you might have had or the next vintage that you might have, even though there will be a house style perhaps that you might enjoy, might fall in love with the house style. But the Grand Cuvée is that really kind of that diamond in the rough sort of thing. It really is a special, rare product, a great bottle to buy as a gift, a special gift, or a great bottle to buy a case of in honor of the birth of a new child or something, because it'll age beautifully and it makes a real statement when you open it, as one of the best sparkling wines in Canada, frankly. And if it's one of the best sparkling wines in Canada, then you can certainly be confident that it'll be world class.
Make sure to visit 13thstreetwinery.com and join our newsletter. Watch more videos, download complete stories, tasting notes, accolades, and buzzworthy news, and to order your favorite wines.